Yikes. How did the Wall Street Journal get this so wrong on bonds? Yeah. All right, so there's an article in the most recent Wall Street Journal, I think it was today or yesterday. Very elementary. That's okay. That's okay. This is why I'm doing my course, by the way, because it's amazing to me how much insanity there is out there. I was just talking to a guy today who saw a guy on YouTube saying a living trust doesn't give you a step up in basis. Now, I'm not sure if he didn't get between the video I did the other day about irrevocable trust versus living trust, but they're two completely different trusts. But he said, the guy said on YouTube that if you have a living trust, you don't get a step up basis. I was like, that's not true. But anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, so the Wall Street Journal says it's a good time to get into bonds now. You just got to know when to jump in. And I'm like, all right, well, interesting. So I'm reading it, a very elementary article. And they cited NerdWallet. And NerdWallet said, if you invest $5,000 in a bond and you have 4% of the coupon and you reinvest it, you'll have $6,000 after 5 years or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Dudes, the problem is you can't reinvest your income in an individual bond. Bond funds, yes, but even the income there is different. You can't reinvest your income in an individual bond. An individual bond does not have fractional shares, all right? So if you buy a bond, you get a coupon. And this is, I actually deleted, unfortunately, I had my bond lesson already set up, ready to go. I was already done. Spent about 3 hours on it. I got about an hour worth of content, and I hit delete because I'm a big fat idiot with my pearly yellows. Oh my goodness, I had this great, I gotta do it again. So I had to do a couple revisits today because I had 6 episodes done and I deleted 5. I was trying to clean out my hard drive there and I forgot that. Very frustrating. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. An individual bond. I own a $100,000 bond. You know, it doesn't matter if it's Treasury. It doesn't matter if it's a corporate bond. I get a 6% coupon. Every year I get $6,000 of income. That's just how it works, dude. No more, no less. When said bond matures, how much do I get back? I get back the $100,000. There's no reinvesting of your, hey, let's see if these guys show up. There's no reinvesting of interest in an individual bond. And the fact that the Wall Street Journal was citing an article from NerdWallet without correcting that is frustrating to me. In fact, the Wall Street Journal even did worse. They said the bond would reinvest. The bond would, at the end of maturity, the bond would be worth, $5,400 or something like that. I can't remember what they said. And some reader in the Wall Street Journal corrected them and said, "Dude, your numbers are so jacked up. This is insanity." And then they fixed it. But of course, they didn't make a correction. So we screwed this up. They just fixed it. They said, "Oh, I was wrong." So there's some good commenters on the Wall Street Journal website there. And unlike the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal doesn't shut comments down in 2 seconds flat. New York Times, man, you go on there and you're like, I'd like to comment on this. No, comments are closed. You're like, what the hell? Wall Street Journal doesn't do that, at least as nefariously as the New York Times. Like, the New York Times is slime balls. There's no other way around that. The readers of the New York Times, by and large, are slime balls. The editors, the writers, by and large, are rich, wealthy slime balls, predominated by Ivy League University rich kids. It's just a fact, Jack. In fact, I was telling my wife this morning, I was looking at the opinion page today. It's all about the evils of MAGA. Like 4 articles attributed to the evils of MAGA. I was like, we are living rent-free in their head, which is pretty funny, actually. They literally think if you're MAGA, you're a Nazi, and you're going to come and throw them off a bridge or something like that. Yeah, it's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. What the hell is that? This is interesting. What is this kind of fruit? Can you all see that? What is that? That's interesting. It's off this tree right here. You see that fruit right there? Huh. I don't know what that is. Very interesting. I'd eat it, but I don't want to die. So I'll just go back to eating my MSG and my raw milk. All right. So remember, when you're investing in an individual bond, you're going to get the income, and you're going to have to do something with that income. You can spend it, you can reinvest it in something else, but you can't reinvest it in that individual bond. It's not like a stock. Stock will pay you fractional shares. So I have 100 shares of Southern Company, for instance. That's what I bought a couple months ago at $72. And now Southern Company is worth 62 as of last night. It's probably worth 10 right now. But I've received all these dividends since I bought it. I think I bought it in March. So I've received 2 quarterly dividend payments. So now I have like 105 shares as opposed to 100, which I reinvested my dividends into fractional shares. That's the difference between stocks and bonds. Can't do that with a bond. There is no fractional return of principal or anything like that. It's just $100,000 is a par value. You're going to get $100,000 in maturity. That's it. Yeah, very frustrating the Wall Street Journal didn't pick that up. Anyway, I'm very much excited for my course. I think I can charge $99 for it. And we'll probably make it a discount initially, probably 20% off for the first, 30 days or something like that. I love it, man. And I'm writing a book too that will not be part of the course. You can buy the book separately because I'm a muddy grubbing capitalist. But I love it, man. I was going over this stuff, man. I said, man, I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of benefit out of this course because I really go into the nuts and bolts of just basic investing. You know what I'm saying? Just to show you like what a CD is, what a broker's CD is, the difference between money markets, CDs, bank accounts, demand deposit accounts, or checking accounts. We go into individual bonds, bond funds, municipal bonds. We go into stocks, individual stocks, mutual funds, ETFs. We go into how to actually invest, how to actually go and open an account and place a trade. To do a rollover, for instance. A lot of people say, how do I do this? I mean, it is confusing. It's intimidating. 100% get it. I show you how to do that. Daniel said that's how to invest, how you should invest relative to your risk tolerance. And we're going to dive into more than just some 8-question risk tolerance questionnaire. We're going to say, who are you as an investor? Can you handle this downside risk? Do you need to have this downside risk? We're going to go to investing while you're working versus investing while retiring. 2 completely scenarios. And a bunch of other stuff. We're going to go to real estate, precious metals, annuities, life insurance. Yeah, I can't wait to get done. It's been sitting on the back of my mind for about 2 months now. I've had the bulk of it done. I just had to get cracking. And now's the time to do it. I want to have it done before the winter time kicks in. Anyway, so be looking out for that, my investment course. Now, I'll make it available as soon as I'm done with it. I got some cleanup to do. I got some finishing up to do on the book too, by the way. I think it's just going to be Investing 101 with your old pal Josh Scanlon. Investing 101 with your old pal Josh Scanlon. Anyway, so if you be cautious if you get your financial planning / investment planning from any firm, any newspaper, any magazine, any YouTuber, even me. I've made mistakes. And when I've had mistakes, I've owned up to them. Without question. I've got a number of mistakes on this channel. Still not quite convinced. I did one on gift tax versus estate tax the other day. And it's been so long since I've been involved in that stuff. I was doing pretty complex estate planning when I was in my career. I haven't had to do that. A, because the estate tax exemptions are so high, and the gift tax exemption is so high too. But I think I said you can take, an individual can take, there's something called portability. So if I die, I haven't used any of my estate tax exemption of $13 million. Charlotte would retain her own estate tax exemption and get mine as well. So she could transfer $26 million without any estate tax. I think I also said, though, we also get gift tax exemption on top of that $13 million per person. And some guy commented, said, he was nice about it. He said, no, that's not true. You can only get one or the other, or all inclusive. I said, really? Did I forget that? I said, I'm not sure, but I think he's right. I don't think you get both a $13 million gift tax exemption and a $13 million estate tax exemption as an individual. I think you get one or the other. Because they used to call it uniform exclusions. But then they separated them. It's been, like I said, it's been a long time. I mean, a number of years since I dived into this complexity at all. I just haven't had the need to. But they used to have a uniform exclusion amount. And way back in the old days, it was only $675,000. But I thought you got a gift tax exemption of X and a state exemption of X. I thought you could use both. Anyway, if I'm wrong there, I pinned the guy's comment, so I didn't take that video down. Sometimes, or more, generally when I make a mistake on a video, I just take the video down and redo it and acknowledge my mistake. I've left this video up because I think the premise is still spot on in terms of estate tax and whatnot, but because it's not going to affect hardly any people that follow my channel. But I pinned his comment just so people could see maybe I was wrong there, and I'd like to know either way. I keep meaning to look into that. I just keep forgetting. So if any of y'all know for sure, you can cite me some kind of article or something like that shows it's a uniform exclusion, or what we call exemption, as opposed to each one having its own. I'd like to see that. I think I am wrong in that regard. I think that guy was right, but I can't remember. I simply forgotten to look it up. Point being is, as I say in my course, no one cares more about your money than you. So it makes sense to have knowledge of stuff that pertains to your money. And, you should trust your old buddy Josh, but I'm not infallible. I'm not Jesus, you know what I'm saying? So, listen to what I say and say, well, if that's true. And double check and triple check if you need to. I don't care. Doesn't bother me in the least. It's your money, man. It's your money. Ain't mine. Ain't mine. It's yours. So get out there and make sure I know what I'm talking about. If you find me making a mistake, I'm willing to be held in error. A guy in the Wall Street Journal comments. He said, anytime a country goes above 100% debt to GDP, it defaults. And I said, what? Japan's been over 200% debt to GDP for over a decade. It hasn't defaulted. Because bondholders in Japan have been crushed. I said, what the hell are you talking about? If you're a Japan's resident in 1995, would you rather have had bonds or stocks? The answer is you'd rather have the bonds. You did not get crushed. It's like an idiotic thing to say. Anyway, it's just the fact that they state this so confidently is creepy, man. Anytime a country with over 100% debt to GDP defaults, we've been over 100% debt to GDP for a long time here in the States. We haven't defaulted. And then he said, well, nominally default. What the hell's that? Nominal default? That doesn't make any sense. That's embarrassing how many people just need to be right and prove how smart they are when they don't know their head from the hole in the ground. And it's, anyway, just got to be careful. All right, love to hear thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to the email list. By the way, everyone's favorite finance professor, Craig Israelson, PhD, will be joining us mañana evening. That means tomorrow for you non-Spanish speakers. Like me, I'm a Spanish speaker. Mañana, all right? Mañana mañana noches, right? Anyway, at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to say, what's the name of the video we're going to do, the live stream? Something about making sure, test run your retirement portfolio before you retire. That's what it's going to be called. It's going to be good. And if you sign up for Craig's spreadsheets services that he has, he'll give you a pretty good discount too. And always don't forget my man Daniel Coolbert over at 55e.co. He's got some great spreadsheets too, man. And I always like using a couple just to make sure that one is not way out of the top and one is, so you can use both of them and get a gauge, and then you can come up with a pretty good idea if you're going to be good to go. See you tomorrow.